Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here, and welcome to Triumph Tuesday. Check this hot rod out. Baxter Cycles has been good enough to leave this one out for us today. An absolutely beautiful example of a Triumph Scrambler 900, but look at that tank. I just love that. I just noticed that's a very metallic lettering, just beautiful, but this, it's got this kind of a cranberry red with these black stripes, and then this lettering is actually, it's almost like it's stainless steel or aluminum, or just very shiny. I like it a lot. Very good look. I love the seats on these, by the way. When I was looking at these on the configurator, they kept asking me to change the seat, and I thought, well, I love this seat. I like the way it looks, the two-part seat. You can also get a pad. You can take this off and put a little, like a luggage rack right there. Okay, so what is it? Well, it's a 900cc liquid-cooled parallel twin with 4 valves per cylinder and a single overhead cam. It's really an interesting situation up there. You take the tank off, the valve cover off, and there's a cam in the center with a little kind of like a H-shaped thing. So you still have the buckets and shims for the cams, but for the valves, I mean. But it's a system that works very good with this motor, apparently. It looks like an air-cooled. It's got the classic-looking air-cooled motor. It's got this beautiful pipe. It still has the Triumph heart. I don't know what's under here. The old bikes, this was a cam here and a cam here. Not sure what's under there. Maybe it's an oil filter or something, but I'll find out. This looks like a transmission, pre-unit transmission, but it's actually a chain guard, and I think the brake reservoir is underneath there. There's how you check your oil right there. Just a gorgeous looking thing, isn't it? The engine is 11-to-1 compression, puts out about 64 horsepower. Just a beautiful bike, isn't it? I really do love the way this thing looks. I like red bikes, so this one really gets me. And it's got 59 foot-pounds of torque. That's about 80 newton meters. When I rode one of these a while back, one of the things that really grabbed me was the wide range of torque, the very low grabbing torque, just a very easy going as far as that goes. Very playful bike. Just loved it. Just loved it. Front tires are 100 by 90 19, and the rear tire is a 150 70 17. And I think those are Michelin Torrents, I think is what they're called. It's even spotted on here. Yeah, Torrents, Michelin Torrents. But a very interesting looking tread pattern. Just a gorgeous looking thing. The brakes on these, it's a single disc on the front. Looks like a floating disc, which means it probably has a fixed caliper. And I would say it's a 4-piston caliper Brembo on the front. 310 millimeter disc. On the rear, it's a Nissan with a 255 millimeter disc right there. And being it's a Triumph, I would just imagine that this thing has just great brakes. All Triumphs do. That's when I first started riding the modern Triumphs. That's one of the things that grabbed me right away. The first thing, brakes, grab me, get it, was how well the brakes work. It still has that classical looking hub, and you can see it because it's a single disc, but yet it's got this gigantic disc on the other side. Just a gorgeous looking thing, isn't it? And I believe these are aluminum rims, tube tires. The forks are 41 millimeters, 4.7 inches of travel, and they're they're gaitered, so you don't have to worry about dirt getting in there. 4.7 millimeters of travel. It's about 120 millimeters. And the rear is got the same amount of travel, 4.7 inches. It's about 120 millimeters also. But dual shocks in the back, and I think they're adjustable for preload. Right here. I like it. I love this little heel protector right here. Isn't that kind of a nice touch, isn't it? Wheelbase on a bike like this is 56.9 inches. That's 1,445 millimeters. I could not find a number for the ground clearance. I don't think it's more than maybe, let's say 7 inches by the way it looks. The seat height is 31.1 inches, that's 790 millimeters, and the fuel tank is 3.2 gallons. And this bike is supposed to get, I think she's supposed to get in the 50s, so about 150 mile range. That's 12 liters, by the way. And the best part, the wet weight, 492 pounds. It's 223 kilograms. That's a pretty good wet weight for a modern Triumph. I think that's pretty decent. This comes in a regular Scrambler like this, and they've also got, this year they've got the Chrome Edition. Now we don't have the Chrome Editions out yet, but we do have, these are the 1200s here, but look at these red tanks. I love that they've gone with color this year. That's a 22 on the end. These are 23s right here. Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous, isn't it? So a little bit about the bike. I consider this, if you're only going to own one bike, so the single unified motorcycle theory, I call it the single unified motorcycle theory, So if you're only going to have one motorcycle in your life, I've heard about people like you, whoever you are, you know, what would you get? Well, to me, this would be a pretty close example of what would work pretty good. I have a Royal Enfield Himalayan, and I've got a Triumph T100, and the Himalayan is I call it my dirt bike. I take it on gravel roads and dirt paths and things like that. I don't do dirt biking right. It's really not a dirt bike. It does kind of adventure touring and things like that. And then I've got my T100, which I use for interstate rides, or, you know, if I want to do a whole bunch of curvy, twisty blacktops, and just very, you know, very nice road bike. Very smooth, great power. Well, anyway, if I wanted to trade off both those bikes, or I should say for the price of both those bikes, I could have easily gotten one of these. And probably had some change left over. And this would be the one, you know, if you only had room for one motorcycle in your garage, this would be the one bike to have, I think. Depending on how much dirt you rode. If you rode, you know, street in the Monday through Friday and then went out weekend dirt biking, this would be an excellent one, I believe. You know, by dirt biking, I mean gravel roading and things like that. It would be hard for me to take such a beautiful bike on gravel, I will tell you that, though. Anyway, you know, it's got all the things. So I went on the configurator for Triumph and, you know, did some add-ons to it. I put a guard on the front here. I got the bump-up fender kit. I think that's all I really... Oh, I put a bag on the back here, a single bag on this side. I left the seat as it was. I did put a windscreen on the front. They had a little tiny one that came up like this. They had a little short one and they had a taller one. But anyway, it turned out pretty nice. I really enjoyed it. But anyway, it turned out pretty nice, and I don't think it added that much to the price. Maybe again about $1,000. Good looking motorcycle. Well, we talked about the engine, we talked about the brakes and all that neat stuff, suspension. Moving up here to the instrument panel and the controls, let's turn this on. It's got all the lights here: fuel light, temperature light, oil light, engine light, ABS light, traction control lights. One thing I'd say is this is a very large dial. I want to point that out. Look how big it is compared to my hand. Very large compared to a normal one. It also has the high beam lights and the neutral light and the blinker lights over here. So anyway, if you look in here, you've got this kind of a largest LCD. I'd like it a little larger, but going over here to the information button, you can, looks like you can go through the different modes: odometer, trip meter 1, trip meter 2, miles per gallon. I'm assuming range. Maybe this is range. I'm not sure what the other one. Anyway, there's a fuel gauge off to the side here. If you go into, it also shows you what mode you're in. Like this says road right there. I think there is, so that's off-road mode, rain mode. See, it says rain right there. And then road mode. And then of course off-road mode. And I did that with the mode button over here. So going over the controls, we've got on this side information button, high beams over here on this side, blinkers, and Triumphs have great blinkers, the mode button, information button, horn button over here. That's a really good feeling blinker button. It's kind of a tactile rubber. Very nice. Onto this side, hazard lights, the on-off switch and the start switch, and it looks like a fly-by-wire throttle. Oh, that's very nice. Now let's turn that off. We've got a clutch lever that is adjustable for throw. That means you can adjust the distance from here to here. And the brake lever is the same way. I like it. I like it. The mirrors on these Triumphs, they seem kind of small, but I've got the same type of mirror on my T100, and I really like them. They're very solid. They work very well. I wish they were a little elongated or something, though. Something like that would be nice. Very nice. It's got some really classic looking Scrambler details. If you look at the old Scramblers from the 60s and even the early 2000s, they had a really neat 865 Scrambler that was kind of reminiscent of this. It's got the spoked wheels, it's got the gators on the forks, nifty little headlight. You know, the classic Triumph tank, it's got this gorgeous pipe. Absolutely gorgeous pipe. You know, everything is well done. Everything is finished properly. It's just very well done. Very good looking motorcycle. I like the fact that being it's a Scrambler, it's got these kind of a metallized brake pedal, you know, like you would want to use if you had boots. It's got a number plate on the side here, and I think you can get a number plate for the other side. Well, maybe not. Oh, it's got one. It's just behind the pipe. It's a heat shield. Oh, by the way, the bike is fuel injected. Just a gorgeous looking machine. And it's got this pseudo skid plate. I call it pseudo because it is plastic. I think you can get a metal one from Triumph. But isn't that just gorgeous? Just one beautiful motorcycle. You know, if you were going to have one motorcycle in your life, just one, I've heard about y'all, this would be a good one. You know, it would do it all. You could live in the city with this. You could do all kinds of city traffic. It would just eat the city traffic up, by the way. Green lanes, yeah, you know, gravel roads. Too beautiful of a motorcycle for that, I think. It's just too beautiful of a motorcycle for gravel, I think, almost. Just but, you know, if you only had one, this would do it. This would be a great bike. Great bike. And if you all are interested in a motorcycle like this, get yourselves down here to Baxter Cycle. They sell new and used Triumphs and Royal Enfields. Ask for Jeremy. He can help you out. Hey, till next week, enjoy.